For a lot of people, Pokémon cards were just colorful pieces of cardboard traded on school playgrounds. But today, those same cards are selling for thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars. What changed? Pokémon cards have quietly evolved from a kid's hobby into a full-scale collector and investor market. People now buy, sell, grade, flip, and even hold Pokémon cards the way others treat stocks or real estate. But here's the problem. Most beginners jump in without understanding how the market actually works. They buy the wrong cards, overpay during hype cycles, or sell too early without realizing a card's true value. In this video, we'll break down how Pokémon card buying and selling really works, what makes a card valuable, how to avoid common mistakes, and how people actually make money in this space. Why Pokémon cards have value. Pokémon cards have value for the same reasons any collectible does: nostalgia, scarcity, demand, and condition. Pokémon is one of the most recognizable brands in the world. Millions of people who grew up in the 1990s and early 2000s now have disposable income, and they're buying back pieces of their childhood. That emotional connection fuels demand in a way few franchises can match. On top of that, many older Pokémon cards were printed in limited quantities, especially first editions, promotional releases, and Japanese exclusives. When supply is fixed and demand keeps growing, prices rise. Finally, Pokémon cards exist in physical form, which means condition matters. A mint condition card is dramatically more valuable than a worn one, even if the artwork is identical. That's why collectors obsess over details like corners, centering, edges, and surface scratches. Understanding card types and rarity. Not all Pokémon cards are created equal. Before buying or selling, you need to understand what type of card you're dealing with. At the most basic level, cards fall into categories like common, uncommon, rare, holographic, ultra-rare, secret rare, and promotional cards. The rarer the card, the lower the print run, and usually the higher the value. First edition cards are especially important. Early Pokémon sets had first edition stamps, and these versions are often worth many times more than unlimited print versions. Japanese cards also play a unique role. Many iconic Pokémon cards were released in Japan before the English versions, sometimes with better print quality or exclusive artwork. Serious collectors often pay a premium for Japanese originals. Understanding rarity helps buyers know what's worth chasing, and helps sellers price their cards accurately. Condition is everything. Condition is one of the most misunderstood parts of Pokémon card value. Two identical cards can sell for wildly different prices simply because of wear. Collectors grade condition using factors like centering, corners, edges, surface quality, and print defects. Even tiny whitening on a corner can reduce value significantly. This is where professional grading comes in. Companies like PSA, BGS, and CGC authenticate and grade cards on a scale, usually from 1 to 10. A PSA 10 gem mint card can be worth 5 to 10 times more than the same card ungraded or in lower condition. However, grading isn't always worth it. Submission fees, shipping risks, and long wait times mean you should only grade cards that have strong value potential. Smart buyers evaluate raw cards carefully before sending them in. Buying Pokémon cards. Where to start? If you're buying Pokémon cards, your approach should depend on your goal: collecting, investing, or flipping. Collectors usually focus on cards they personally enjoy. Favorite Pokémon, artwork, or nostalgic sets. Financial return is a bonus, not the main objective. Investors look for long-term appreciation. These buyers target iconic Pokémon like Charizard, Pikachu, Mewtwo, or Rayquaza, especially in older sets or high grades. They're willing to hold cards for years. Flippers focus on short-term opportunities. They buy undervalued cards at conventions, online auctions, or local listings, then resell quickly for profit. Common buying platforms include eBay, card shows, specialty card shops, and online marketplaces. Wherever you buy, research recent sold prices, not listing prices, to avoid overpaying. The psychology of hype cycles. Pokémon cards experience hype cycles just like stocks or crypto. Prices spike during periods of renewed interest, celebrity openings, anniversaries, or market booms, and then cool off. Many beginners buy during hype when prices are already inflated. This leads to frustration when values drop months later. Experienced buyers do the opposite. They buy during quiet periods when attention is low and supply is plentiful. Understanding hype helps you avoid emotional decisions. Pokémon cards reward patience more than impulse. If everyone on social media is talking about a card, it's often already too late to get a bargain. Selling Pokémon cards the right way. Selling is just as important as buying. Many people lose money because they rush to sell without understanding timing or presentation. High-value cards should be photographed clearly, described accurately, and listed on platforms where serious buyers are active. Transparency builds trust and attracts better offers. Pricing matters. Overpricing scares buyers away, while underpricing leaves money on the table. Checking recent sold listings gives you a realistic range. For graded cards, the grade itself does most of the selling. For raw cards, honesty about flaws is critical. Misrepresentation can lead to returns or negative feedback. Long-term holding vs. flipping. One of the biggest decisions in Pokémon card trading is whether to flip quickly or hold long-term. Flipping requires constant attention to the market, fast decision-making, and a willingness to accept smaller margins. It's more like active trading. Long-term holding is slower but often more stable. Iconic Pokémon cards, especially in high grades, have historically trended upward over time despite market dips. Many successful collectors use a hybrid approach. Flip lower-value cards to fund long-term holds. Risks most people ignore. Pokémon cards are not risk-free investments. Market saturation, reprints, and changing collector preferences can affect value. Modern cards, in particular, are often printed in large quantities. While some modern cards gain value, many do not. Buying everything new and sealed with the expectation of guaranteed profit is a common mistake. There's also liquidity risk. High-value cards may take time to sell, especially during slow market periods. Unlike stocks, you can't always sell instantly at market price. Understanding these risks helps you make smarter decisions and avoid unrealistic expectations. Building knowledge before spending big. The most successful Pokémon card buyers don't rush. They study set histories, watch market trends, and learn grading standards before making major purchases. Knowledge protects you from scams, overpaying, and emotional decisions. The more you understand the ecosystem, the more confident your buying and selling becomes. Pokémon cards reward education just as much as capital. Pokémon card buying and selling sits at the intersection of nostalgia, strategy, and market awareness. Whether you're collecting for joy, investing for the long term, or flipping for profit, success comes from patience, research, and discipline. These cards may look small, but the market behind them is anything but simple. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into collectibles, investing, and hidden markets most people don't understand. Drop a comment below and tell us, what was the first Pokémon card you ever owned?